Hey garden friends, welcome on back. Well, today we're going to do a little bit of a garden chore, but I wanted to talk to you about some things that have been going on. And it's not the end of the world, so don't let me make you feel that way. But Google has decimated my income by 80%, and it's really hit hard. So I've been brainstorming things to do, and it's doubtful that I can recover that from all the reports I'm hearing. But we'll talk about that while I am planting up these are cool wave pansies. Now they were sent to me over a month ago, but it was just too hot here to plant them out. So the poor little things have faded away. This one's called Strawberry Swirl. Is that what it was? I've got a tag in here somewhere. And I wanted, oh, they smell like spring. Oh, they smell so wonderful. Yeah, these will do okay for me. I'm in zone 8B over the winter. And I'm going to put them out in the barrels where I have the super petunias, the bargain rack super petunias I bought that have done beautifully for me this year. I've just loved them. And they were still blooming, and I didn't want to take them out while they were blooming so pretty. But in a couple days, we're supposed to get freezing temperatures. And so I'm going to dig those up. We're going to put them in pots. I'll put them in the greenhouse. We'll see how long they'll last in there. I don't know. They may just keel over and die, but that's okay. We'll give it a test. And if not, if they live a little bit longer, I'll have some color in the greenhouse. So let's get rolling on transplanting these in the same barrels, and we'll talk about what Google did to me. Alrighty, let's get rolling. See if I can get down in here, guys. So these are the super petunias that are still doing pretty. But like I said, next week we get a freeze, and well, actually in a few days. So these are gonna not do well through that. So it's time to plant up our pansies. So first of all, I'm gonna soak them. I have a tub right here of the organic Rev that I've spoken of many times. And it is great when transplanting because it is a root growth stimulant. It is not a fertilizer. And it will help the roots to get going very well so that it has the best chance for coming through the transplanting process and get rolling and be healthy and fast growing. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to decide whether I want to cut. I think I have to cut these back. They're just too big to fit into the greenhouse otherwise. Pruners. So while I'm cutting these back, which is no rocket science to it, just shearing them back, we're going to talk about what Google did to me. So as you know, I have a website called flowerpatchfarmhouse.com, which this YouTube channel has been made to complement it. It wasn't to surpass it or it was just to supplement it. Like if I did a blog post on how to plant petunias, then I would do a video of me planting petunias, and I would link it to that website or that blog post. And then, it would show you step by step how I do it. Am I in there? Yes, I am. The video, I find it so much easier to watch videos of somebody doing something rather than just someone telling me. So that was the intent of this YouTube. I have thoroughly enjoyed being on YouTube. And it's like I'm talking to garden friends all the time. So that's really made it fun. But anyways, the blog was my main income source. Well, last September, Google did what was called a helpful content update. And it decimated a lot of people's blogs. It wasn't just mine. In fact, last September, I was unharmed by it. It didn't seem to make that much of a difference. Of course, my traffic is diminishing in the fall to the blog because a lot of people, they're busy going on to other things like the holidays and winter decor and all that kind of stuff, which, gardening is not part of. Sorry, my eye's watering. So I didn't notice any dramatic drop in traffic compared to prior years with that helpful content update. While others, there was a big uproar over it all because it just decimated their blogs and websites. Now, we're talking about recipe sites, we're talking about travel sites, we're talking about everything you can imagine under the sun. So there was a lot going on with that. I'm just printing this back because I'm going to start this boxwood cutting. I'll stick it in there. Anyways, so I didn't notice anything dramatic happening then, though I heard of everyone else happening too. Then they had another update in March, this last March, and that one did. Now, the helpful content update by Google was supposed to help get rid of spammy websites. You know, these ones like that were started, and many of them were AI generated content that just scraped the internet, and then they posted it as, you know, helpful how-tos, where there was no real people behind the scenes as far as anybody that knew how to garden, etc. Now, I'm going to say one thing, and it may be a little controversial. I have seen reputable magazines, and they'll post articles, and they have writers that write them, and you can tell when you read it that it's just like surface information, and that writer may never have stepped foot in a garden, so they don't really know the facts about all of it, or had the experience to know that you have to be more, sorry, that was on my knee and it was wet. You have to, I don't know, you can tell when someone really has never gardened. And you know what? You can be a master gardener. You could have gone through the certification and never stepped foot in a garden. So, anyways, I've got it all pruned back. As far as Google. Anyways, so there's a lot of junk out there on the internet as far as gardening. Now, during the pandemic, gardening became a huge topic. It became a huge marketing point. And there's been a lot of people who've hopped on the bandwagon that the main intent is to market plants, fertilizers, etc. And a lot of it's stuff you don't really even need to grow a beautiful garden. So anyways, when Google did that last update in March, it hit my blog. And I noticed then that my income dropped dramatically. My traffic. See, my income is based on the traffic to my website. And the keywords I was ranking high for, meaning people would search for something like grow petunias from seed or whatever. And mine would be one of the top blogs that would come up that people could link to. Well, now if you do that, you'll get an AI generated synopsis. And a lot of people will read that synopsis and move on and never go to someone who's actually done it. Now, those AI generated synopsis, they're scraping the web and they're scraping up other people's information and then serving it to you. Now, I will say that my information could be the same as a lot of other people's, but many times what I have to say about it is a little bit different because I garden differently than many. I don't go with the status quo as far as information because I found many times it may not be necessary to do that way, or I've been successful in doing it completely different, or at least doing it slightly different. There is no one size fits all in gardening, and that once you learn that, it's much easier to be successful in gardening. But anyways, and my garden is supposed to be, my blog is authentic. That's what Google says they wanted. They wanted authentic information, not just a repeat of what everyone else says. Since I do things my way and I break the rules many times, mine should be authentic enough. But that being said, now I know that another gardening friend, her blog hasn't been hit at all. In fact, it's doing very, very well. Why Google decided mine was not helpful, I don't know. So let's talk about some options I've got after I pull this out. Okay, cut this all the way back. And now I'm going to just dig down and dig it out. Yeah, thankfully it wasn't too far down there. Nice little root mass. You can still see where it was in its pot before. And yeah, the stuff that these things are grown in it looks like there's a whole lot of peat moss, which doesn't, it kind of, I don't know, doesn't age well. So, and it's got no nutrition. Anyways, so I'm going to shave this off a little bit because I want to fit it into a container like this. It wasn't a much wider container. I don't think I saved it. But that doesn't matter. I can shave the root mass down, and I'm going to put some fresh soil in here. I'm going to go over to my compost heap, put some in this bucket, and then I will sink this down in there, and I will put this in my greenhouse. And I will give it a good dose of fertilizer, and even though it's going to freeze, it'll be in the greenhouse. Even though the temperatures are going to get down to freezing, I should say. This may do something. I don't know. Okay, let me go get my compost, fill this up, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm going to fill this up because I have the other one to put stuff into, so I'll put part of it in that other pot for the other one that I'm going to be digging up. So this is my turkey compost from a local organic turkey farm that I absolutely love. It's what I make my DIY potting soil with. Isn't that beautiful stuff? Gorgeous. Black gold. Okay, am I in here? Yeah, I'm almost in here. Alrighty, let me get the other container behind me. And I'm gonna put part of it in there. So I probably have it 2/3 full now, but I think this will go in there just fine. And no, I want it to go a little lower, so I'm going to dump out some of it. Because I want a little lower because I want there to be like maybe almost an inch of a rim, so that when I water it, it doesn't go out, that it stays in. Okay, there, and a little bit of that loose stuff I'll put on top because it'll water down in there and fill in the gaps along the edge. All right, nothing too fancy, is it? Okay, so as I said, that will go in the greenhouse after I've given it a good feed, or I'll give it a good feed once I get it in the greenhouse. All right, you know what? I'm gonna get some compost to put in here, big old piece of bark, and then that will help rejuvenate this right here. And because it's, you know, it's had the petunias in it, and who knows what else for a long time. And this hasn't been rejuvenated since last spring. So I'm going to put some more compost in here to give it a little bit of a kick in the pants as far as nutrition. Now, I did go get some more of the compost, and we'll just put it in there. It's probably a good 2 inches worth in here. Anyway, so what are my options? Well, it's hard to say because no one knows why certain blogs and websites were hit and others weren't. So do I continue working on that, doing garden stories and posts on that website? Because it said, I mean, no one really knows, but they're saying that if you've been blacklisted by Google in these updates, then you won't recover because they've deemed you not acceptable. But I don't know, Google's always changing. So I could start a new blog. It wouldn't be monetized, but I could possibly get it to where the traffic was high enough I could monetize it and start making money on it, and it would be a fresh one, so Google wouldn't know it from Adam. But, you know, anymore, people are saying that blogging is dead because Google has now wanted to keep all the content. They want to keep you on Google, and so they'll place the ads there. They have their little AI-generated synopsis, and so people aren't inclined to pop over to blogs to get the information they're looking for. You know, there's all kinds of speculation. Now, I'm just planting these in here around. Now, I think I have 9 of them. Let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 9. So I think I'll do 4 in each, and I have some snapdragons that they were supposed to be a bronze, and they're yellow. It's not what I wanted, but these have a bit of yellow in them, so I think I'll put right in the center, I'll do the snapdragons, and then the snapdragons should overwinter as well, and then they'll be really pretty in spring together. But yeah, so that's what I'm planning on doing with that. So all I'm doing is digging down. I dug in some of the compost, digging down with my trowel, enough space to put in these plants. Look at these, aren't they gorgeous? But nice big pansies, cool wave. I'm assuming they're pansies and not violas. They're related. Anyways, wave is not going to be happy with me not knowing the difference. Oh, there's a scan code. Okay. Yeah, they sent these to me. They adopted me as a wave ambassador this year, and it's been fun. They sent me those blue velvet petunias that did beautifully until I got the budworms. And even now they're recovering, but they'll probably get zapped in the frost. Now I found that the wave petunias are really cold hardy, and they may very well come through it just fine. But like, and what I mean by cold hardy is like one spring I put out my wave petunias and they did great for a couple weeks, and then we had a hard freeze and I thought, oh no, I lost all of it. And I mean, it was a hard freeze. And nope, they sailed right through it and they did just fine. I didn't space this one out enough. Forgive me, really quick. Well, I space this one a little bit more over this way. Now I had thought of putting some tulips in here, and I may still, but they're an orange. Yeah, I may put those in a different container, and then a container I can move because here we get late snows, heavy snows, and they smush my tulips usually. And if I have them in a small container, I can move easily. When I know there's going to be a snow, I can throw them up on the porch, the covered porch, and then they won't be smushed. Now this one looks like it's suffering. I think I will pamper that one in a different pot. It's just been so chaotic here since I found out about the Google update and that I wasn't probably going to recover from it. I've been trying to brainstorm what I could do to, replace that income. Now, as I said, this YouTube channel was to complement it or supplement my blog. It was never meant to be a moneymaker. So I have never partnered with any programs that they promote me or have me promote certain types of plants. I mean, all right, so I got these in here. I'm going to go get my snapdragons to put in here. We are back over here. I moved the camera so it would be in the shade. It was starting to protest banging this up. So here is the snapdragons. Now, some of them are more of the peachy color that I was looking for and not the yellow, but most of them are yellow. So I'm just going to pull them out. Now they're very root bound, so I will pull off the bottom. Now these probably could have used to soak in the Rev too, but I wanted to get this done. So I'm going to put these, I'm going to put 3 of them, this is a 6-pack, in the center. And let it go from there. See how that's just so root bound? I just had to soak them this morning. I saw them dry. They were peeking over. All right, I think those will do beautiful with the wave petunias. And we'll see how well they do over the winter. Sun's right in my eyeballs. But I'm going to do that planter there so we can keep on talking about maybe some options I have. I might have started on that, and I've been getting distracted with all this planting. But that's okay. I planted one of my new irises right here. This is my Huckleberry Sundae. I have Huckleberry Fudge. That is one of my favorites. And when I saw this one, I had to have it. So we'll see if the gophers leave it alone. I had pretty much gotten them under control, but I noticed some tunnels alongside the road. So they're coming, newbies are coming in. So I need to stay on top of them while I can before snow flies. Okay. This right here is the irrigation. So I need to put that back in here. The birds are sure singing. I don't think you can hear them because my microphone's tuned to my voice, but the mountain chickadee is out singing. He sings so pretty. All right, now on to this one. same thing. Let me get my shovel. I'm gonna dig it out. And whoop, let me go get my compost first. BRB. Okay. Here we go again. So, now, like I said, one of my options is to continue with my garden blog and try to revive it, even though others say that that's not viable. Or I could transfer it to a new URL, build it up, and then maybe monetize it. But that's still chancy too. Now, I could try harder here on YouTube rather than supplementing my blog to being the mainstream income producer. But I've just wanted to enjoy here talking with you. I didn't want to, make it where it was critical path because I wanted to enjoy it. I wanted it to be something fun and not something that pressures, because with YouTube you have to keep posting. And yeah, I do. I post through the winter. I have you with me in the greenhouse. We have fun out there when it's dismal outside, even with 9 feet of snow on it, or 6 feet of snow. I videoed out there and did winter seed sowing and whatever. I didn't cut this one back yet. I wonder if I could leave it whole, just with the flowers on it, you think? I think I'll try. It'll be kind of hard. Maybe I'll put it in a little bespoke greenhouse. But I don't know. I've seen some that I really like. And they're called, they're the relaxing videos where people just kind of tell a story. And I thought of going that direction. That seems very artistic and rather fun. Another option is my painting blog wasn't affected. It's kind of hard because with like the painting, it's my style. No one can copy it. Google can't scrape it and put a synopsis to it. It's not that kind of thing. I could also change my Flower Patch blog to more of a story. I had geared towards SEO, search engine optimization, like when somebody searched for how to plant petunias, it would go to it, and stuff like that. But if I could switch it back to more of a creative process rather than a how-to. So that would be fun, but whether or not that would bring it up in the rankings where I would get, people going to it, therefore I would get paid, is another story. So I don't know. But what I could do and what I have done is my husband and I had a family meeting and we going over the budget. Where can we cut expenses? Now with my blog, I have different softwares and programs and subscriptions that help with it, like an email newsletter subscription processor. I have, like for my other website, my painting one, I have a platform where I sell my patterns and courses and what have you. And I have been transferring to free programs. Now, I've been wanting to do that for a long time. I just didn't have the time. And because every day I made a certain amount of income, and if I couldn't replicate a savings that matched that income, it really wasn't worth taking the time. But now it is. Now it really is. So we've done that. We've been looking at that. Now my husband loves to eat out. Now there's nothing more expensive or budget breaking than eating out. Well, he had to agree to give that up for the most part and do it for special occasions and not like once a week or twice a week. Let me go get my viola or my pansies. So the point being with the budget, revamp is do what you can do. I'm not saying don't mourn the loss of something, because I loved it. I loved my blog writing. I loved, working on it and producing posts for people, informational posts that were a little bit different because, as I said, I don't always garden like everybody else. And I wanted people to know that you didn't have to do it like everyone else to be successful. And sometimes it pays to be different because you'll find that in your conditions differ from everyone else, and you have to be a maverick and find what works in your conditions. And that's what happened with me here in the mountains. My conditions are not conducive to what many claim is how you do it. So I had to learn how to do it and be successful and have things thrive for me. And it's not just based on your zones. I have discussed that on my blog and even here on YouTube about garden zones not being all you need to know. It's just a small portion of the information you need to know. So, yeah, I would say after you get done from reeling from shock of what's occurred, you got to sit down and take practical steps and see what you can do. You can't let it, well, what do you say, paralyze you into doing nothing. I thought of different things. I thought of maybe I've been a bookkeeper for 40 years, 45 or 35 years, something like that. Anyways, I could start a bookkeeping company, but do I really want to? Do I want to be stuck at desk for hours on end? And, it could be lucrative. I know that, I don't know that I want to. I will be 62 at the end of December, and I've signed up for my Social Security, and that will help, but it won't. Our combined Social Security will not support us fully. We still have a house payment, and with the cost of insurance, homeowners insurance going up in California, many people have been canceled. But the cost of homeowners insurance here in California is probably equal to what many people across the country's house payment is. It's become ridiculous. And all of that, the costs that have gone up. Now, I wouldn't live anywhere else. I love California. Well, if I did live somewhere else, it'd be somewhere tropical. At least I think so. That didn't have hurricanes. Anyways, yeah, so basically that's what we're doing. We're revisiting things we can do as far as scaling back on things, making sure we're not wasting any money, putting a little more effort into like meal planning, etc. So anyways, that's what we're doing. I am not down. I'm not licked. I am going to somehow figure out something to do. I'll go to work at Pizza Factory if I have to. They make $20 an hour there and tips. That's if they would hire me, they might want young kids. Now, I wanted to say, see, these are so yellow. And if you look at this tag, I'll show you in a minute, it shows it very orange, and this is called bronze, a Liberty Classic Bronze. That is not bronze to me. And it looks nothing like the tag. So I don't know if somebody switched the tags or if they're just looking that way here. And maybe that's a way they can look at time to time, but I was really wanting the orange color, not yellow. All right, I'm just getting these all in here. Okay, yes, I had topped this up with the compost like I did the other one. And we've got the violas all in here. And I may come in and just cut them back a little bit, the ones that have gotten leggy. And then I will go ahead and get this planted up. I may prune back some of the ones on the bottom that are brownish. And so anyways, I know I was all over the place. That's okay. That's how my brain has been lately because of trying to brainstorm things I can do to supplement our income. I don't think I'm going to replace, even if I went out and worked and got a secular job, I couldn't replace what I made before all of the updates. It was dramatic, the cutback. But it's not anything I haven't lived through before. So we can do this, and we will do this. And we just keep plugging. And I'm sure I'm not the only one in this boat. I think of the poor people on the East Coast who've lost their homes, their cars, their lives. So I am no one to complain. I still have a roof over my head. I still have a car that runs. It's older. It's like 20 years old, but that's okay. It runs. And life is good. I have a husband that loves me, that I love. We are indomitable together. Therefore, we will survive. We will more than survive. We will thrive and just go from here. But things will be switching up a little bit, I do believe, here. And if not, it'll still be garden focused. I do need to clean out my primrose cottage and get to doing some painting because I love to paint. And that is something that relieves stress too. When it's too cold to work out here, like next week, the highs are going to be like 50. That's not something I enjoy being out in. Really, I'm a wimp when it comes to cold weather in the garden. But so this next couple of days, I'm going to be out here enjoying and trying to think about what might work as far as me making an income. So know that I hear you when you say that you're struggling and that I can commiserate completely, but all is not lost. Count your blessings, enjoy getting outside and nature and what God has given us, and keep on trucking, tuck and roll. So I'll see you in my next video. Bye. I am going to water these in. Nice and hydrated, that's what works when it comes to being ready for a freeze. So I also will put some of the Rev on them. I know I said I was leaving, but I thought I should tell you that. And I'm going to go put this in a pot. I'm going to put the other half over on the other one. So, like I said, I'll see you in my next video.